Hello guys, welcome back to another week of palettes. I'm keeping it a little shorter this week because I only did 5 looks. I was just having one of those lazy weekends and I am now officially a day ahead. Like, I was so ahead in the beginning, like 2 or 3 days, and then I kind of just like slacked off a little bit. So now I've been actually doing my makeup the day of posting, and that's a mess. So I decided to give myself a little break. So today's look is what you're gonna see for Monday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this video is actually going up on Monday and not Tuesday, but it's one or the other. So we've got our 5 palettes. There's actually a little bit of drama this week with one of my palettes, which I'm actually really sad about because I did not anticipate this being an issue whatsoever. I also accidentally did 2 Colourpop palettes this week. Was not intending that, but I did the same thing last week with Huda. Sometimes I just don't see it. Like, I'm just going with the flow and I'm like, oh, I did colorful, I'll do neutral today, and don't even realize what I'm doing. So our 5 palettes this week are the Colourpop My Little Pony palette. We also have the Ace Beauty and Nostalgia. We have the Nomad Shanghai palette. If you know about it, you know about the issue, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. And then the Colourpop Double Entendre. And then also the Blockbuster palette, which is from Hot Topic, and a big shocker. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the looks, and I'm going to break down what I did with these palettes. Alright, we're starting with the Colourpop My Little Pony palette using P. Louise base, shade 0.5. Pretty much do that every single time. Blending the edges with the finger. Starting with this peachy shade, I'm not going to go into the names because honestly I'm not sure that the names actually correspond to the right colors. Then taking this mauve shade and blending it through, I'm going to stretch this across above the crease. And then the outer corner, taking this lovely deeper kind of turquoisey shade, I'm going to blend that completely in the corner and also start to blend that up into the crease just a little bit and kind of create this little fade. Just doing some more blending now with that mauve shade and adding some of the light lavender kind of shimmer onto the lid, blending a little bit more. It looks really pretty. I like the way that this is turning out, using all the same colors on the bottom row, blue to mauve to peachy, and then a little bit of that icy blue in the inner corner, white little dots to complete the look. Curling lashes, adding roller lash mascara, and there you have the finished look. And now for the Nostalgia palette from Ace Beauty, starting with Water Slide. I love these fun colors. This shade is Vacation, and then I am adding the shade Picnic. Once again, blending just across from the inner corner to the outer corner and adding Carnival in the outer corner, this nice deep purple. I'm really going to build that up. It's going to create a lot of dimension with this look. Oh, bright but really fun. I'm adding a little bit of flip-flops to blend all of that together once I have it set. Adding P. Louise base on the lid and going to stretch that a little bit more than halfway across. This is the shade Heat I'm taking on the lid, which is kind of mirroring the orangey and the pink going together. Gonna finesse the edges with a little brush just to get it more precision, and then I'm gonna blend the edges with that shade Carnival again, the purple. Looking super pretty. Adding the shade Theme Park on the lower lash, and that's pretty much it. There you have it, adding some white in the waterline, and here's the finished look. Okay, talk about it before and after eye. This is the Nomad Shanghai palette. I'm in love with the look that I'm creating using P. Louise base. Starting with the shade Snake, this nice light green. I love it so much. And then I'm going to take Fairmont Peace and blend that once again towards the outer corner. And going to blend those two together a little bit. And then I'm going to take the shade Moon. It's a rich, deep black. It's such a beautiful color. And once again, building that up for a lot of drama in the outer corner. I love the black with these like paler pastel shades. It looks so pretty to me. I am taking a little bit more Fairmont Place because that shade just got a little bit lost with all the black. Adding some glitter glue this time onto the lower lash line. I'm taking High Pie and then Oriental Pearl, sorry if that pronunciation is incorrect, and blending those two together. This is such a beautiful combination. I love it so much. The brush just to get those edges, and then I'm actually going to add some P. Louise base as a liner because I want to use the shade Snake, that light green, as liner as well. So first just building up the base and then just packing that matte green shade all over where I have placed the base for that eyeliner. And now Colourpop Double Entendre palette. Once again, I'm just going to let you guys see the colors as I'm looking at them. So we're starting with a deeper brown, creating a little kind of like an eyeliner, smoky liner, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and go ahead and blend that up towards the middle of the eye, adding a little bit of a lighter brown. And then with a liner brush, I'm taking some different shades, one reddish brown, kind of peachy brown, and then a little bit of a shimmer, which you can't really tell. This look is so less complicated than it probably looks. Just adding 4 stones across where I have that line and placing those in place. Adding that reddish brown on the lower lash line, Hank & Henry Slick With It liner. That's the shade Blickety Black. I love that liner so much. It's been my go-to lately. And that really just kind of brings everything together. Lashes, mascara, and here is the final look. I love it. And then we're going to move on now to the Blockbuster palette, starting with the shade Family, which is this really light yellow. I can't believe how well this turned out. I did kind of avoid the browns, but it's okay. The shade is Cartoon, which is this nice green. And then I'm just going to begin to blend in Adventure. I did use a little bit of Fantasy, the lighter blue below that at some point, but kind of just to blend the edges. So most of this is the shade Adventure, building up that outer corner. All of my looks kind of having this similar feel and basic way of doing the eye look, adding a little bit of comedy to deepen that up and just add some dimension. P. Louise base on the lid, and I am going to be packing on the shades Classics, which is the white, which you can barely see, and mostly the shade Family. So that's what I packed in there, using both of the blues, but mostly Adventure to blend together. This is a Suva liner, and then I'm going to add a little gemstone. We're going to do some Hank & Henry eyeliner as usual, and then I'm going to add mascara and lashes, and that is pretty much the finished look. So happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys like it. Oh, can you believe this palette actually did this well? So pretty. There's the lashes, and bam. Alright, so you guys have seen the looks. Now it's time to give you my thoughts. I have been doing a kind of like breakdown and ranking them, and as I rank them, kind of tell you my thoughts and opinions. This week I am super confused because I loved a lot of these palettes and I'm shocked, honestly shocked at the results. So I'm gonna put, have I been starting from the bottom or from the top? I think I've been starting from the top. So let's start with the bottom because there's no bad palettes this week. So I had really good experiences this week. I didn't have any hiccups, so everything is good. It's not best to worst, it's just like most favorite to less favorite. Colourpop Double Entendre, if you had this palette, it's a beautiful one. As you guys saw, I did a little bit of a different look, putting some stones on my eyes, and I think it turned out really cute. Neutrals just fall lower for me. Honestly, I rank them lower because they don't inspire me as much. That's not to say that they're not as good. If you love neutrals, this might be your #1 palette out of all of these more colorful palettes. So I'm gonna put that at my bottom. It's really not bad. It's just, it's there. The Colourpop My Little Pony palette. I have no issues with the quality of this. The only reason I'm ranking this lower than the next one that I'm gonna tell you about is because I feel like the color story is a little bit strange. I don't know. When you think of My Little Pony, I'm thinking of, and maybe that's it. Maybe they're more the colors of the ponies, but you see this like purple and rainbow, and I don't really get that from the inside. You get like that little bit of purple and maybe like the cloud bit. So I kind of get it, but I don't know what I expected. I like this palette a lot. It's just a little bit different. Like maybe it's because it's actually a unique color story and doesn't look like everything else that I think it's, you know, different. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this palette. I do think it's really pretty, and I'm actually in love with the look that I did too. I did some pinks and purples, some blue, kind of little fades, some little dots. I did some stuff and I liked it. I mean, I was really happy with it, so no complaints. Again, no bad palettes. I'm gonna rank the Blockbuster palette as #3, right in the middle. It was good, like everything else this week. It was good. I'm actually really surprised that these shadows performed as well as they did. So they're all matte shades. That's maybe a downer for some people, and honestly the color story, while it reflects Blockbuster video, like brown carpet, blue and yellow, white, black of a VHS, you know, it's like, it's very Blockbuster, right? But of course it may not be the most beautiful color story in a lot of people's minds, and I totally get that. However, this performed better than the Nickelodeon one did, and the Nickelodeon one was okay. I think if I had had P. Louise base, it probably would have performed a little bit better because I feel like P. Louise base and FYI, I'm using this nonstop. It's pretty much what I'm using every single day, but I feel like that just improves your eyeshadow quality. So yes, it helps it out a lot. I'm not gonna not use it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say, oh well, it makes it better, so I'm gonna use something different. Nah, I'm gonna use what I think is really good, and that way I know how to judge the eyeshadow formula. So this was pretty good. I paid like 15 bucks for this. Like, it released and was already on sale. So if you like the nostalgia of this, which to me, this is freaking adorable. I love what they did with this. If you want it for the nostalgia and you think the shadows are probably complete shit, so I'm not gonna get it, I actually think they're pretty good. They're not amazing. It's not like top level Pat McGrath quality, of course not, but it's pretty darn good. And I would like to mention too that these are actually made by Taste Beauty. I'm guessing that Hot Topic has some type of agreement, because when you go and search for this, it will not tell you that, you know, it's a Taste Beauty product. It's just, here, you're on Hot Topic, this is the Blockbuster palette, that's it, you're done. It is manufactured by them in New York though. So like, there's some reason why this might be still a good, oh, I did not even look at this. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. This is the first time I've looked at the fact that it says make it a Blockbuster night. I love it even more. I love the concept of this. I love the nostalgia of it. So if you don't mind, like, yes, it's not perfect. No, it doesn't have shimmers, but it's still really pretty, and I was pretty stoked with the look that I created. With the top two, they're both so good. So I'm just gonna get this one out of the way because I feel like these tied for the top spot, and I want to talk about the other one a little bit more. So this is the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. This is a Black-owned makeup company. If you are looking for Black-owned companies to support, absolutely go check this one out, because these are bold and beautiful. And honestly, I've been finding as I do these videos, the palettes that I'm most impressed with, and this has been a trend with what I've been seeing and using so far, indie, Black owned, those are the two categories that have been like my top almost every single week. And it's just something about it. Maybe because these shadows are made for deeper skin, or made for everyone, but made to really complement deep skin. The pigmentation is there, and that's what I love about it. So because they're making sure to be inclusive to all skin tones, I know that these are going to be really pigmented, but you don't just get the pigment. It is really, really good quality, and the look was just kind of effortless, colorful. So tied for the top spot, I'm just gonna say they're tied. The Nomad Shanghai palette. Now this has been discontinued, and it just came out. So I tried to find as much information as I could about the situation, and I'm just gonna give you the gist. Now, this is based off of Shanghai, and a lot of Chinese and Chinese American customers and beauty people viewed this as a little bit offensive, and because they felt like it kind of leaned to more stereotypical things about Shanghai and about China, and didn't really get at the heart of like the culture. I just don't think with any amount of collaboration, unless the person making the palette like from A to B is Chinese and has lived in Shanghai, I don't think that they can really get at the heart of the culture and all the intricacies. But this happens with every brand, and the thing I don't like about the situation is not so much that people are offended, because that's not my right to say be offended, don't be offended. But with everything going on in the Asian community right now too, it's already like a touchy kind of subject, because there's some really, really horrible things going on in terms of like hate that's been happening. Now that is very serious, and 100% it sickens me. And I like looking at the posts, I've been doing my little research. It's sick and sad and just makes absolutely no sense. But back to the heart of just the makeup issue, just the makeup we're going to talk about. I'm going to get off the heavy stuff. I just want to say that this problem of stereotyping Asian culture, and it's kind of like kitschy instead of meaningful, I think is one way to put it. And you know, they see with this palette, you've got dragons, which honestly are beautiful. You've got like snake, yin yang. One of the things about this palette is the yin yang, and from what it's yin yang, isn't it? But when I saw from some of the people who were Chinese American were saying that the yin yang thing was just kind of like left field and wasn't meaningful to Shanghai in their opinion at all. Of course, I don't know every detail about what it means, so I can't say one way or the other. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It's still a beautiful palette if you just take away the issue with it. It performed amazing. I love the look that I did. I loved it. I think a deeper problem though is that This happens with all brands. Like any makeup brand that you see that has done destination palettes, I think that even less work and study has gone into their palettes than this one. I feel like they did their due diligence. They had people working with them, but you're never going to please everyone. And because this was the more kitschy, fun side of the idea, I think it struck a chord with some people. And I think also with everything going on right now, it amplifies that feeling. So yeah, I'm not trying to get into like a TED talk right now and like go into a whole thing, but I don't know. I can't be offended, nor can I, you know, understand or accept the apology. I can't do either of those things because it's not my, you know, it's not my world that was offended. But I loved the palette. I thought it was beautiful. Did I look at this and study it and think, wow, does this really hone in on what it means for that culture? No, because I couldn't possibly understand it. But I kind of said too, like, can you imagine if another country made an America palette? You'd probably have like hot dogs on it, or the American flag, or the Empire State Building. Like, what would it even have? You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions if you want. Please, nothing nasty either way. I'm sad that the palette is discontinued, but if that was the right call and it really was that offensive to people, then fine, that's okay. I'm not gonna be mad about it either way. Leave me your thoughts and opinion down below. Did you want this palette before, like, you know, it was discontinued? Did you have any interest in it? I know a lot of people are asking, like, will you sell the rest of them? Will you, you know, repackage them? What will you do? And I don't think there's been any word on that. So that's my 2 cents. It was a really good palette as far as the eyeshadow quality goes. And that is my 5 looks for the week. I was really happy with how my looks turned out, and I'm trying to be a little bit more creative, not only just to make my makeup look better, but also just to be an outlet for me. So I'm trying to just like have fun doing what I'm doing, and hopefully that will translate. These videos are not getting a lot of views, and that's fine. I really like doing this, and you know, maybe sometimes it's only going to be 5 palettes a week. That's just how life goes, because it is a lot of work to do all of it. So hope you guys still like it either way, and I appreciate you watching so much. Thank you again, and I will see you tomorrow, I think, in another video. Bye guys.